guys, Mizros1990 here. It's going to be another one of my X-Squad builders. For today's video, we're going to be looking at Leeds United, my favourite team. This is quite one of them ones where we've covered a couple of teams already. We've done Southampton, whose team's outstanding. If you haven't seen that one, go check it out. Arsenal, we've kind of got like a decent-ish team. And now we're going to go to a Leeds team who aren't as good on Ultimate Team wise, but still a lot of, you know, memories and good times from some of these players. So you can smash the like button. 100 likes would be beautiful. If you can smash that, that'd be absolutely amazing. Let's get straight into it with a goalkeeper who's won the Premier League. And that is, of course, Kasper Schmeichel. We had him, I still can't believe this. We bought him from, I believe it was Notts County. He went to like a lower league team and everyone was kind of confused when he did that. And then Leeds signed him. And then we let him go for so cheap. I mean, he wasn't outstanding by any means for Leeds. I think he had one season there. But like I said, he's gone on to amazing things, hasn't he? Winning the league with Leicester is always going to go down as one of the biggest achievements of all time. And anybody playing in that team is going to go down in history for damn sure. But he did have a little bit of time at Leeds. He makes the team. In the defence, we're going to go for two players who actually aren't too bad at what you would say probably championship level for these two. Tom Lees, another player who we kind of just let go on a free transfer, and then he seemed to have done pretty well for himself after leaving Leeds. Now, nothing. In fact, for Leeds, he was god-awful. Some of the games he played for us, he really didn't look ever to be like a good centre-back at all. And he went to Sheffield Wednesday. I'm pretty sure we let him go on a free, or like some small fee was paid. But he's actually been alright, and he was linked with a big-ish money move. I think it was like a £7 million move or a £5 million move to, I think it was some Premier League club last season. It might well have been Sunderland, who obviously are in all kinds of difficulties right now, and it probably could have done with him. But the next guy to him is going to be a guy which I want back at Leeds so badly. He was unbelievable for us last season with Pontus Jansson. That's Kyle Bartley. He hasn't got the best FIFA card in the world, purely because of his pace. He's got good strength though. But in real life, really good centre-back. And he's actually in and out of the Swansea team at the moment. He played a game for them the other day when he went for like a 5-back or a 3-back, whichever way you look at it. And I think he was on the bench in their last game. But he looks like he's in and amongst it for Swansea, which is fair play to him. He kind of deserves a crack at the Premier League for how good he was at Leeds. He made Pontus Jansson look outstanding last season. And I think Pontus Jansson is a top player. But I think Bartley was the better centre-back for us personally. I still think Pontus Jansson's fantastic there, but next to Cooper, you can kind of see Bartley did a lot of good for us last season and was one of the key members why we got into the playoffs. Obviously, he didn't want to rejoin us. I don't think as Gary Monk got sacked, which is a shame, but it is what it is. We move on to better things, hopefully. Now, the guy at right back is going to be a guy I'm sure you guys all know. Played for Leeds and was a good player for Leeds. Sam Byram. He now plays for West Ham. Another one who's kind of a strange one. I'm not sure he's getting too much game time. I think, if I'm not mistaken, currently coming back from an injury. I might be wrong in that. I'm not 100% sure. I'm not really following his career as much as I would if he was obviously playing for Leeds. But we'll chuck in the left back while we're here because it's kind of a similar kind of situation. And that's Charlie Taylor. He left us to join Burnley for basically a free transfer, but because he was a certain age and been at the club for a certain amount of time, you have to pay a nominal fee, and I think it was like 5 million, which, you know, wasn't too bad. Collectively out of Burnley, we've got about 20 million worth of player, and then hardly spend a penny on anyone else, which is a shame. But that back five isn't actually too bad. Like I said, this team could probably do well at championship level. Probably could, you know, just avoid relegation maybe in the Premier League, depending on how you look at it, and after you see our attack. But like I said, Sam and Charlie, both really good talents for Leeds, and you know, I kind of wish them well, but at the same time I'm kind of gutted that they've left, so I'm really not too sure how I feel about that one still, and it's been enough time. There's a few more of them players in here, so you have to wait and see who they are as well. We're going to move over to the left centre defensive midfielder, and that is going to be Fabian Delph. If I can spell his name correctly, that would be very nice. Not Del Piero, unfortunately, never played for Leeds, but Fabian Delph did play for Leeds, now currently at Manchester City, and when we had him personally, he was a centre mid. He's been playing a little bit of left back and such for Man City this season, obviously because they had a couple of left back injuries. I think Fabian Delph's actually currently injured at the moment as well. But we had him. We sold him to, I believe it was Aston Villa we sold him to. I can't actually remember. Was it Aston Villa? And then we actually loaned him back at some stage. It didn't work out for him for whatever reason. Now, he's gone to Manchester City. I think one of the reasons they bought him was because of the fact you've got to have a certain amount of English players in your squad. And he's one of them players who's got a lot of potential. Maybe not fulfilled his actual potential yet, because when he was at Leeds, he was arguably the best one we've ever had, kind of like talent-wise, but I think there's one which has outdone him most recently, but you can let me know yourself if you think the same. But I think he can still live up to a big potential. I think he suits Man City. I think he's that type of player who, you know, he can create play. I don't think even he knows his best position yet. I don't know if he's like a centre mid, a left back, a cam. Definitely not a centre back or a striker, but you know what I mean. The other side over here now is another player who again was good for us and we let go. Howson is going to be, he was good in our League One kind of days. He did a lot of good stuff. Obviously now playing for Middlesbrough. We actually sold him to Norwich as well as like 5 or 6 other players in like 3 seasons, which is absolutely demoralising. And like I said, similar to the Southampton one where everyone's going to Liverpool, Leeds is feeder to Norwich, which was absolutely shambolical. But luckily we've gone away from that a little bit now. We don't seem to be wanting to sell our bestest players to other championship clubs. If we do end up selling one of our bestest players, it goes into the Premier League, and you've got to kind of just hold your hands up and say fair game to that, because while you're not in the Premier League, you can't expect players to, you know, not want to move to the Premier League, if that makes sense. So we've got Howson there. I quite like the look of this back lot, but then when it gets into the midfield, it gets a little bit crazy. We're going to go over here. We're going to put James Milner in here. Now, I'm not going to say I would rock James Milner at left mid. There's no way in hell I would rock James Milner at left mid. He's not got the pace anymore. But when he was at Leeds, he was very, very young. Fantastic player, currently at Liverpool, of course, as a left back on FIFA. But he's like the perfect kind of player to have in your squad. He can play pretty much everywhere on the field and do you a shift. Not going to do you a shift to like amazing levels. He's not going to score you a hat-trick if you play him up front or nothing like that. But, you know, he'll just do you a shift. He's a solid kind of 7 out of 10 kind of player. And you like that. He's a good workhorse and a very good player, and nice that he is an ex-Leeds player, of course. We'll move over to the right-hand side now, and we'll put in our boy Robert Snodgrass. He's actually got a current in form. I don't know which week it was, but 81 rated in form. Not a bad card, actually. Some really good in-game stats. He is lacking pace, of course, for a right mid at only 70, but he was never blessed with pace, even when he was at Leeds and when he was in his younger days. He was never rapid, but he had that, you know, touch of skill to take on a player, which is always the main attribute of some Robert Snodgrass. Could score a goal, cracking free kick taker. Again, another one who we sold to Norwich, which again was a massive shame. He did get a big money move to West Ham, I think it was, wasn't it? And then now they've loaned him out to Aston Villa, which is what it is. He actually seems like he's back on it again in the Championship now. Bit of a shame it didn't quite work out for him at West Ham, but maybe they'll recall him back under a new management and see how he does next season or so, or how it actually ends up. I'm not really too sure. But the middle cam is going to be Lewis Cook. Now, this is the one where I'm still very salty about. I genuinely think he's the best thing to come out of Leeds for a very, very long time. He won the World Cup with the England under-21s, was it? Or under-20s? I'm not exactly too sure which one it was. But he won the World Cup, which is amazing. Currently playing for Bournemouth, and under Eddie Howe, I think he could genuinely be... You could see this guy moving for big, big money soon. I won't be surprised if Man City, you know, Arsenal, Liverpool, anybody comes sniffing after him in a couple of seasons' time when he kind of matures a bit more and... does exactly what he needs to do to get that big money move. I think it's bound to happen. Remember I said that when this goes, when it's like 3 years time and he's moved to Man City for like 80 million. Ross McCormack is going to be our striker. Now, Ross McCormack, putting his Aston Villa card to get chemistry, but he was currently on loan to Melbourne, but I think that loan's just ended. He is linked with a move back to Leeds, but I don't think that's going to happen. I kind of wouldn't mind if it happened because I kind of like Ross McCormack. He was brilliant for us. The way he left us wasn't brilliant. You know, it was under really bad ownership, and I think everyone would agree that I don't think anybody really wanted to be at the club under Chilino. And he decided to jump ship. But again, we got good money for him. We sold players for good money over the years. And, you know, I think our highest paid fee for a long time is actually most recently at 4 million for Adam Forshaw, we've just bought. Maybe we'll beat that again. There's about a week left of the transfer window, but I just feels like we've got in a lot of money, and then I know we bought the stadium back, which is awesome, but I don't think we've spent it, and I would like to see 1 or 2 more signings in this window. But that is the team. Let's have a little look on the bench while we're here. So we've got Jack Butland, we had him on loan. There's a guy at the end there, you'll see. Actually, I took him out because I couldn't fit him in the team. But Connor Wickham was another one we had on loan. Sol Bamba, now at Cardiff, we had him for a couple of seasons. Adam Clayton, we had him again for a couple of seasons. He was linked with a move back to Leeds, but we've got Forshaw instead, which is quite funny. Bataka, I've put in there because I was a bit gutted about Bataka. When we signed him, it was awesome because he's a 5-star skiller on FIFA, and I was kind of like, wow, I didn't expect that at all. Never really worked out for Bataka, unfortunately. He is still 5-star skills, as you can see. He's still got a bit of pace about him. Not got the best card in the world. He's currently playing in the Pro League. Got Max Gradel, who ideally I would have in left mid, but he doesn't really get good chemistry. That's the reason why I put Milner in there for chemistry reasons. But Max Gradel would definitely be my left mid, so we'll put him there. We'll probably rock James Milner at left back instead of Charlie Taylor, just for banter reasons. Alan Smith in his prime would be our striker, but he's a terrible FIFA card now at 61 rated. But what a legend. Again, not a bad move for him, leaving Leeds to go to Manchester United, which is kind of like a stab in the heart, but it is what it is. Jermaine Beckford, another one who was outstanding for us in our League One day, scored a number of goals. Remember that goal against Man United? Absolute great finish. Then left us on a free to go to Everton. Rio Ferdinand obviously was at Leeds, and we sold him to Manchester United. We bought him from West Ham. You'll see actually in his icon thing there, as you can see, we bought him from West Ham. Played 73 games for us, and we sold him to Manchester United. And the rest was history, wasn't it? Went on to be one of the best centre-backs in the world. Adrian! Who remembers Adrian? Holy crap, it wasn't that long ago, was it? But who remembers that dive? If you're not a Leeds fan, you'll remember the dive. Utterly disgraceful. Dominic Polion, I put him in there because I'm not too sure why we let him go. I think he could have actually been a really good player for us. Currently playing for Bradford in League One. Hopefully he does well there. Matt Smith is the next one. Always like Matt Smith. Never blessed with pace. What he would do is win a header, which is absolutely iconic in this day and age. And him and Ross McCormack up front together was a really nice partnership for us back a few years ago. And Chris Wood, of course, our most recent departure. If I was being totally honest, I probably would have Chris Wood over Ross McCormack. Personally, I just feel like he's a better all-round striker and, you know, a bit younger, a bit more hungry. But Ross McCormack, just in there for chemistry reasons and the fact that I think he did better for us than Chris Wood. But I do like Chris Wood. He's the only ever Leeds player I managed to get a selfie with as well. And, of course, I get a selfie with a Leeds player and then leave a week later. So I don't think I'll be doing any more selfies, for God's sake. I'm like a curse or something. But that is going to be it for this episode, this video. Let me know in the comment section below what you'd like me to do in the next episode of this. I'm going to do a couple of these, and then we're going to get straight back to the random hybrid. It will be back very, very soon. But like I said, just trying to sort my account out and get some coins and whatnot so I can make the best possible videos for you guys. And I'm also still struggling a bit on my green screen, just trying to get that up and working fully. I've got quite a small room, and it's becoming quite a problem with the big lighting. And I'm trying to sort it out, so hopefully you guys can stick with the channel, smash the like button. I'll be back very shortly with quality content. Subscribe if you're new. I'll catch you next time, and bye-bye. Boo!